Where am I? New York. That's where I am. And I'm like, we can do a live stream. Why not go live? There's plenty to get into, plenty to talk about. I'm going to join on my phone and we'll have comments and lively conversation and maybe even a new jacket fashion show. Welcome aboard, everybody. I see people are coming in as we speak. Leave a comment. Let me know that thing's working again. I'm always paranoid, completely paranoid. Got the notification from YouTube. Skadoosh. So there we go. We got to talk about the pretty much the wildfires in California. Ooh, be the first to comment. Lots of people are watching. Come on in. I'm not going to bring you in on a live video. Hello from St. Louis. How's it going, Paul? Thanks for being here. Fantastic. So I'm in New York. We were just got done taping an episode of the Gregory Gutfeld show. Good evening from chilly Cape Coral, Florida. Ha ha ha. I've been waiting for that day. I guarantee, Florida, you're not as bad as everywhere else. Who else is rolling in? San Jose. Hello, San Jose. What's happening? Oh my goodness, so many people are showing up. Loud and clear from North Carolina. Hey, Florida's in the house. Jesse. Hey, Ron. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. New scum stinks. Let's get into that. And I want to hear. I know we have a lot of people in California. We have a lot of New York people, a lot of California people. And I was out in Los Angeles for a lot of years. Hey, from Kansas. Hello from Ohio. Ahoy, hoy, Bob. This was the conversation that we were having backstage before the Gutfeld show, which was, I think, and I wrote a piece about this at the loftusparty.com. I wanted to organize my thoughts and get them on paper. I think this is the one that turns California. I think this is what turns it all around. There's no two ways around this. This is a failure, a massive failure by Newsom, the mayor, the fire department, the infrastructure, all of it. There's no way. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of it a little bit later, but the other thing about this is, like, with the Pacific Palisades, and I know some people who live there and they're wonderful people. I want to be very careful about how I say this. If you're living in Beverly Hills, you're living in Bel Air, you're living in the Palisades, you're living in Malibu, you can vote for all these feel-good proposals. You can talk, oh, we need a DA who does this with criminals, and oh, we don't need to do that, because in those little communities, they have like their own security forces. Like crime doesn't hit them like it hits the rest of LA. It's like you have this weird bubble of Los Angeles, and then in that bubble you have other little bubbles where reality just doesn't creep in. They don't have to worry about policing. They thought they didn't have to worry about any of this stuff. And like these, fires and this other, that just happened to other people. And now it's horrible, but they're realizing that, like, we weren't lying about Gavin Newsom. It's not. Here's the thing that I like about being on the right, being a conservative, being a libertarian, being a small government person. We don't want to do this. There's other shit we could be doing. And so it's only when we see like really gross incompetence that we go, hey, I don't like that fella. It's because of the policies. It's the lack of the basic. When you're telling me that there's no water pressure, there's no water. The fire hydrants aren't working. They can't pump water to the Palisades. That's beyond an epic failure. So I don't want to get too crazy deep in it. I don't think Gutfeld's going to air tonight. I think they're going to take tonight's episode and have it tomorrow because these fires are just completely insane. And the tragedy, you know, the loss of human life and everything. It's not like we haven't been screaming this from the mountain. And that's the great thing about technology is you've got, like Trump was saying it back in 2018. We've been saying it when I moved out to California, and you would see like the LA River. It would rain up in the mountains, the snow would melt, the LA River, just all this water. And you're like, are we gonna save any of that? Seems like we could use some of that. No, Mike. There's a smelt. There's a smelt that needs. Okay, so we don't have to keep all the water. How about we do a 50-50 split? We keep half and then we let half go out to the river smelt or whatever. So here we are. And I hope, I really hope that this will wake up so many. Good luck blaming this on climate change. They're going to try. But I've seen too many videos of like crazy crackheads like starting fires. And I don't want to joke about it. I got friends in LA. I've talked to one earlier today. Yeah, I'm not even. Listen, to the people in LA, if you need something, reach out. We will come together as a community here at the Loftus party and do whatever the heck that we can. But to my friends in the Palisades, I'm just assuming they got out. I don't want to keep blowing up their phones and be that guy, because I don't want to be that guy who's like, I thought whatever. Did they say how it started? No, they didn't. Which means, listen, the winds are bad enough. The Santa Ana winds and all that stuff. I doubt very much this was a cigarette thrown out the window. I doubt very much. This is something that we should do on that show tonight. I saw a freaking commercial the other day that it was Smokey the Bear, and like some guy had a boat hitch. He had a trailer hitch with his boat in it, and he was driving down, and the chain was hitting the road, and it was throwing little sparks. And Smokey the Bear's like, "Hey, bud." Smokey the Bear like tightens up the chain. Yeah, I wish. How many fires do you think were? How many? Listen, I've seen the crazy crackheads starting fire. Like, I've seen that with my own two eyes. I don't think we need a commercial. I don't think we need a commercial reminding people to cinch up the chain on your trailer hitch. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say the number of forest fires started by too many chains, I bet that's probably going to be zero. I remember the ones where it was the guy throwing the cigarette out the window, where everything just went up. Have you ever? I'm telling you right now, I have a fire pit in my backyard, and when I would smoke, I would like put the cigarette out. I would flick it into the fire pit. There would be kindling in there. There would be fucking kindling. The shit never went up. Never went up. This is an experiment that I did again and again and again. Anyway, I got to try to find something to laugh about with all this, because it's just too brutal. And I gotta try to be a hello Michigan, hello Kelly Joe. I gotta be an optimist about this and think that like this will be a wake-up call for the rich people who live in the Palisades and live in Beverly Hills, and none of this stuff ever affects them. Well, here we go. Here we go. It's Chick-fil-A. If you're ever in New York, highly recommend the Chick-fil-A. They got the congestion pricing going on. I have not seen a difference. That's like the worst thing ever. Yeah, I've tried to start a fire with a cigarette. It doesn't work. I'm telling you. I swear to you. I would have the sticks and it's ready to go. That has everything it needs, and you'd be like, poof, nothing. Okay. Lynn says praying for a wake up call. Me too. Here, listen. I left California. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's just, it's that balance of like, is this worth it? Yes. The ocean is gorgeous. Yes, there's beaches. Yes, there's mountains. It's all of that. You can definitely see the appeal. But the grift is just so big, and like so many jokes that I wanted to do. Maybe, it's a good thing that nobody wanted to try to escape those fires on that high-speed rail, right? You know, how much money, and here's California's in the hole. They've got a shortfall in their budget of like freaking $24 billion. It's huge. They have squandered the money away. They've spent it on DEI programs. They've spent it on high-speed rail. We're on year 20 of them trying to get, we're gonna fix the homeless problem. Just keep giving us money. Just keep giving us money. They failed. It's greed, it's grift, and it's payoffs, and it's bullshit programs, and it's people who are pretending to do a job, and then you have a press that's complicit because they want Gavin Newsom to be the next presidential candidate. Set your watches right now. They want Gavin Newsom to be going up against JD Vance in 2028. So they're not going to be critical of him, and they're going to have a hell of a hard time. They're going to have a hell of a hard time right there. Everything happens for a reason. This was Gavin's swan song. Boy, I hope so. I hope so. The money that they've wasted on the homeless solution is enough, and then the high-speed rail, just that is just money laundering. No ashtrays in cars anymore. People got nowhere to get rid of their butts. That's true. That's true. I had the last car I got, I had to ask the dealership for an ashtray. I'm like, can I get an ashtray? And the guy was like he was talking to a ghost. What? I'm like, yeah, just like a little ashtray I could use for the, huh? Yeah, I'm a vape guy now, sadly. Gavin has as much of a chance of being president as Harris did, says Margaret. Look how good Harris did. Look how good. I can't believe that chick won a state. It's freaking terrifying. Maybe I'm alone in this one, but like this is one of the topics that we were talking about on Gutfeld today, that like I want a tsunami. People are freaked out because Trump is like, yeah, Greenland, we should do that. Yeah, the Gulf of America, we should totally. And I'm like, yeah, go, do it, go big, go way big. This is like, it's like, it's like a boxing match where we've knocked the person down, then they got back up, they survived the count, and like, oh, the rest of this is good. No, we need to knock this out. It was nice to hear this. This is one again. Spoiler alert. These are topics that are going to be on the Gutfeld show, but it's Facebook. This is completely unacceptable. The whole Facebook thing. We're supposed to be happy that Mark Zuckerberg, and a lot of this I couldn't say on the show, or chose not to say. I chose to do jokes. But Zuckerberg with Facebook, and he's like, yeah, we're getting rid of the fact checkers. That was a failed experiment. Yeah, no shit. No shit. So he's doing community notes, and you're like, okay, that's a good idea. I respect that. That's fine. But like, this isn't over. You can't just go, oh, we're not going to do the fact checkers anymore, and I'm bringing in Dana White from the UFC to be the, yeah, so I think we're good. No, dude, we are far from good. How many businesses how many businesses, how many organizations, how many foundations, like the Angel Moms? Remember the Angel Moms? I think that was the name of the organization. They were all, it was a big group of people who had, they had lost children they were the victims of horrible crimes committed by illegals and murders and shit. And they were, I know we were suppressed on Facebook. Angel Moms, other organizations, how many people who relied on Facebook for their advertising and their revenue, who were just like, there should be a mountain of lawsuits. A mountain of lawsuits. Listen, Zuckerberg and the Facebook gang gave like $400 million out in these Zuck bucks that was supposed to be like, oh, that's COVID stuff. That's for COVID. And then it was used to find votes in swing states for Democrat candidates. You've tried to affect the outcome of the election, dude. And the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story and any other censorship and the stuff about the jab and the COVID origin. What the fuck? You think hiring Dana White from the UFC is going to fix all that? This one drives me crazy. Because he's like, he goes, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to suppress people anymore. Pardon my French. How in the F do we know? We need a private organization to go into Facebook, go into Meta, and be like, somebody show me how this shit works. And show me, you need to prove to me you're not suppressing people. He's like, oh, I'm not doing it anymore. How about bullshit? How about you have to prove that you're not? Thanks for sharing this clip. I always forget to say that. The Loftus Party Facebook page was growing at an insane rate. Insane. And then someone over there just went, bloop, not no more. Good luck with that. So they were going back 2 years. They're like, oh, you posted this joke, an obvious joke 2 years ago. So yeah, you violated. Yeah, and you can't. That kind of shit drove me crazy. You have fact checkers. No, I don't know, Mike. 3 men did not walk into a bar. There was not an Indian and a cowboy and a priest who all walked into a bar. That's false information. We're gonna suppress your reach. Yes, Zuckerberg violated the First Amendment for sure. A lot of people went to TikTok. That's what I think this is. I don't listen. I probably a big part of it was Zuckerberg was like, I think they're losing people. I know that they were talking about they're going to start populating Facebook and Instagram with like so many bots, just like AI bots. That's terrifying. That's a terrifying notion. And TikTok, we're over on TikTok, the Loftus Party. Yeah, I put it up there. It goes like this. It goes YouTube and Facebook. Boom. Patreon and local people. Those supporters, they get extra because they're top notch. And then we go Rumble and TikTok. Why not? Oh, and the Twitter. X is gonna be a big one. Here's my tech picks for 2025. keep your eye on X and keep your eye on Studio TST. Guess what we're going to do? Just found this out. Holy smoke, it goes so fast. My stand-up special, my Comedy Central. Here's what you do, kids. When I did my 1 hour special for Comedy Central, I didn't want them to own it. I didn't want them to own it. I'm like, you guys can show it. You know, we have a contract and all that stuff, but like, who would own the rights to it? I'm like, nope, that's yours truly. That's yours truly. So after much searching and digging and discovery, we're going to put that on Studio TST. It just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. More cool stuff. There's going to be hopefully a live stream of the Redneck Riviera party with Cat Turd and John Rich and all that good stuff. Isn't it funny how we aren't hearing from the drunkard of the house, Nancy Pelosi? Ha ha ha. That's why I did that video the other day. I'm like, hey, we haven't heard from Nancy Pelosi in a long time. She had the claw let her down. I was counting on the claw to hold on to the banister when I was in Italy because I had a few. And by a few I mean a lot, many more than 10. And I told the claw, you better hold on to that banister. He says, okay, Nancy, I will. And then I went ass over tea kettle. Yeah, Nancy, never underestimate that chick. Never underestimate that chick. She's fun to make fun of. The claw, and it's good for democracy and all that stuff. But that chick gets it done. She's like a super villain. Obamacare. Have another mudslide, Nancy. Yes, I had an Italian mudslide. Italian mudslide is when you have too many libations and you wake up in Italy and there's been a mudslide in your underpants. And let me ask you this before we go on to this is another thing that was one of the topics. Do you guys? This is just for the group, apropos of nothing really. Do you carry around an extra pair of underwear? There was a poll recently that said like half of Americans have an extra pair of underwear just in case they need them. And I'm like, are that many people having accidents? Like we have issues as a nation. I will stay safe. You too, Lois. But seriously, not a big. We'll keep me out of it. But like I'm not walking around with an extra pair of underwear just in case. Yes, no pants. No. Lots of nopes. No extra, right? And it's cold out there now, so I am strapped for underwear. I'm a big fan of the free balling, but not in this weather. That cold weather will go right up your pant leg and just and you'll be a soprano in no time. That all depends, Michael. I see what you did there. Wordplay with depends. Okay, let's talk. Let's get into this. Are you guys? Hopefully you're listening to the podcast. I love the podcast, and once again, for the supporters on Locals and Patreon, there's a whole show just for you guys, which is so much fucking fun. Okay, so I was talking about this, and I don't think this is getting enough attention in the United States, but there's something really, really odd happening in the UK. I don't know if we have anybody from the UK on the live stream tonight. Long Johns? I will do Long Johns about shelving. I don't know why I felt compelled to answer that question. So, yeah. Anyway, so in the United Kingdom, they've got a lot of. We're going to watch it here because I don't trust anybody on Facebook or these immigrants will be immigrants, and they have a problem with what they call grooming gangs, and it's very, very bad things that they're doing to very, very young people. It's a horror show, and it's evidently been going on for the longest time. And all these women who are now older are coming forward, and it's such a horrifying reality to think about. And they keep shutting down investigations into it, saying, "Oh, if you don't want to investigate that, you're Islamophobic." Okay, so hold on. A child said something really horrible happened to them, and you don't seem to be interested in stopping it or finding out what's going on. They just had a vote today and it's just like, I don't know what has happened to the moral compass of planet Earth. Like, whatever happened to believe all women? Whatever happened to that? And you're like, no, yeah, something bad might have happened, but we're not going to look into it because we don't want to be thought of as bad people. Hold the frickin' phone. And so this is what boggles my mind. How much bad stuff are you allowed to let happen in the world? So this was I was shocked when I guess they had this vote this afternoon in the parliament. We're like, yeah, we're not going to look into that. That's hooey, that's a wild one. They emptied the jails of criminals so they could jail people for hate speech in the UK. That's how it seems. That's really how it seems. Seriously, I can have people that I don't agree with politically, right? You're like, oh, I think we should be taxing at this rate. And I can go, oh, that's way too much. We should be taxing at this rate. But when it comes down to, and I was talking about this on the podcast, it's like with the gender identity stuff and talking to little kids in America about sex stuff and like young kids, you're like, no, you don't do that to children. And then with the stuff in the UK, you're like, you don't want to protect kids? That's like an end of civilization event. That's like your civilization is crap, is garbage. And it's like the infrastructure in California when it's the year 2025 and there's a fire and then the fire hydrant doesn't work because that's you're living a lie. Then your elected officials, your elected representatives rather, have failed you on an epic level. UK, California, you have lost the plot, as they say. The UK is becoming a communist state. So I tell you what, they are the canary in the coal mine, sadly. And we gotta, I don't know how we help them other than support them and keep. Okay, I want Greenland. I'll just say it. I think it's great. Like this whole I like calling it the Gulf of America. I think that's a great idea. I really do. Canada, I can see why you're mildly offended at being called the 51st state. That's too small. You guys are too big. However, we'll come up with a new title. We'll come up with, so you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Whatever. But like Canada is going to be like California, but cold. They're going to lean left. So if you're going to do Canada, you have to do Greenland. You have to, because Greenland seems like they're going to be more conservative. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't do this, oh, we're just going to get Greenland or we get Canada. we got to get you on board. Just let us know how you would like to be referred to in song and on the flag. Just let us know. We'll work it out. It'll be cool. You're going to be happy. You're going to be so happy. You're going to love it. Ken says, late to the party. Hey, don't worry about it, bud. You made it. You're here now. It's all good. I just wanted to check in with everybody because it's a Wednesday night. Are you kidding me? 500 people? Are you kidding me? I just looked up. I'm like, holy smoke. Okay, so let's. I feel like I owe a whole nother show. The episode of Gutfeld tonight hopefully will air tomorrow. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I hope so. It's a very funny episode. It's myself, Kat, a very, very pregnant Kat, a very, very funny Tyrus, and a very, very funny Charlie Hurt, and a wonderfully talented Greg Gutfeld is they let him host his own show now. That's probably why his name is on the building. So holy crap, thanks everybody for being here. I hope you're loving the podcast. I love the podcast. So thanks for subscribing to that. Thanks for sharing this. Thanks for helping this whole endeavor grow. We have some wonderful, wonderful people who are posting content to the loftusparty.com. There's always great stuff there. There's new stuff every day. It's wonderful. And we're going to keep our pedal to the metal. We're going to keep growing. We're going to stay loud, and we're going to keep making sure that this country and everyone who shares the love of having a good time and getting the government out of our business, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and having a blast. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh, one more question. Why are those pants still on? Probably because it's winter and you don't want your nards to freeze.